Some people see a half-full bottle. Some others see a half-empty one. Chemistry sees a different problem. Not how much is left, but what is left. In the last episode, I said something simple. First impressions are not evidence. The way a product feels in the first 3 seconds, the weight, the texture, the glide, it's not proof that it works. But today, the question moves deeper. Because now, we are not judging the first impression. We are judging what remains after it. Most people look at a half-used bottle and see remaining value. Liquid in the container, cream in the jar, perfume in the flask. They paid for that, and there it is. Chemistry sees something else, sees a system that has been opened, closed, warmed, cooled, touched, and carried through real life for weeks or months. The fill line measures quantity. It does not measure identity, because a product is not a static object, it is a chemical system trying to remain itself. And once you understand that, the half bottle starts to look different. When a chemist designs a formula, they don't just choose ingredients, they draw a box. That box is called the specification. And stability, the real meaning of stability, is the ability to stay inside that box under defined conditions for a defined amount of time. Now, expiration. An expiration date is not a dramatic danger switch, and a period after opening symbol is not a countdown to instant failure. They mark something quieter, the point after which the product can no longer be expected to reliably remain within the specifications it was designed and tested to meet. After that point, a product may still look normal, but visual appearance is not a proof of chemical stability, preservation performance, or full product integrity. The original promise of the formula has reached its tested boundary. You can still have half a bottle in front of you, while the formula inside has slowly drifted away from the conditions it was originally designed to maintain. That doesn't mean you should ignore an expiration date or period after opening symbol. It means the opposite. Appearance is not evidence. That's the part that gets lost in the conversation about the expiration. People treat it like a visible event, but chemistry often changes before your eyes can notice it. So, what's doing the drifting? Mostly two patient and spectacular forces: oxidation and hydrolysis. Oxidation is what happens when oxygen reacts with sensitive molecules. Some fragrance components are vulnerable. Some lipids, some functional ingredients. Their structure shifts, their color changes. The way they perform on day 200 may not be the way they performed on day 1. Hydrolysis is what happens when water enters the chemistry. Under the right conditions, water can participate in breaking certain molecular bonds. Different mechanism, same larger idea. The system can slowly move away from the state it was designed to hold. Formulators know all of this, so they build defenses, antioxidant systems, chelators, stabilizers, smart packaging choices. This slows the clock. They don't freeze it. Oxygen, water, and heat aren't dramatic villains. They are just normal parts of the environment. But given enough time, in the wrong system, they become chemistry. Most people think a product only changes when it visibly breaks, when it looks obviously wrong. Until then, they assume the chemistry inside still matches the chemistry on the label. So far, we've been talking about chemical change, molecules shifting, the kind of drift you can't watch happen. There is another kind of change in a product, one that doesn't need patience, one that under the right conditions can move very fast. Water. Here's a question most people have never had to think about. How much water is in this product? It feels like the wrong question. Look at the product. It's creamy, it's wet, it hydrates. Obviously there is water. But what matters is how much of this water is available. This is one of the most underrated ideas in product chemistry. It's called water activity, and it changed how we think about microbial behavior. A product can feel completely wet to us, creamy, fluid, and still have very low water activity because most of the water is chemically bound by other ingredients. Salts, sugars, certain humectants, they hold water in ways that make it less available to microorganisms. Microbes do not care how wet a product looks. They care how much water is available to them. That's why a thick syrup can behave very differently from a thin water-rich formula. It's not the volume of water that drives the risk. It's the fraction of water that is free. It's also why two products with similar looking ingredient lists can behave completely differently over time. The list shows you what's in there. It doesn't show you how the water inside is being held. Which brings us to one of the most misunderstood words on any label: preservative. In the consumer imagination, a preservative is one ingredient that is doing the job. In real product chemistry, it's none of those things. Preservation is not one ingredient doing magic. It's a system. That system includes the pH of the formula, the water activity we just talked about, the packaging, whether the product is touched by fingers or dispensed through a closer, the contamination introduced during use, the conditions you store it in. All of those inputs work together. Change one and the others have to compensate. Remove one and the whole system has to be redesigned, not just relabeled. Even a well-built preservation system has its limits. It's not infinite protection, it's a defense designed for a specific lifespan under specific conditions. That's part of the expiration date is communicating, not just a chemical timeline, a microbiological one. The window during which the system was designed to hold. This is why preservative-free is rarely a simple story. It usually means the system was built differently, not that the system stopped existing. Most people see packaging as branding, aesthetics, shelf appeal. The package is not just where the formula lives, it's the boundary between the formula and the outside world. Some packaging slows down how much oxygen reaches the formula. Some allows a small amount of moisture to move in or out after months. Light can be another pressure the package may or may not block. We will come back to that in a future episode. In some products, certain volatile aroma molecules can interact with packaging materials over time. The scent on day one and the scent in 6 months later may not be identical, not because the formula failed, but because the package was a part of the system all along. And every time you open it, the conditions change. Air enters, humidity enters, the headspace fills with new molecules. There's one accelerator that touches almost every product: heat. Higher temperatures generally speed up chemical reactions. They can speed up oxidation. They can change viscosity. They can change physical stability in some systems. They can shift the equilibrium the formulator carefully designed. This is actually the principle behind accelerated stability testing. Formulators store products under elevated temperatures to estimate how the system might behave over months or years in real life. But, and this is the part people miss, accelerated testing is a model. A useful one, not a prophecy. A product isn't destroyed by being warm for a day, but separated exposure to elevated temperatures in the wrong packaging over time can quietly push the system toward the edge of its box faster than the day predicts. Chemistry just runs a little faster, and nobody sees it. Normal is not proof. Now the most important part of this entire episode. We need to separate two ideas that almost everyone collapses into one: failure and danger. A product can fail aesthetically, the color shifts, the texture changes, the scent fades. None of those on their own automatically equals danger. A separated product is not automatically dangerous. That does not mean you should ignore it. It means it may no longer be the product that was tested, designed, or promised. This is where customers tend to swing into wrong directions. Some throw products away the second something looks even slightly off. Others, and this is the more interesting failure, keep using something because, quote, it looks fine. Both are reading the wrong signal. Because looking fine is not a chemical test, this is the real reason expiration dates exist. As a boundary, a product doesn't expire because time passes. It expires when time, chemistry, packaging, storage, and use push it outside the state it was designed to maintain. An expiration date or a period after opening is chemistry with a boundary. The date is there to tell you how long the system was designed to remain itself. See you on the next one.